And with those festivities, of course, comes New Year's resolutions, right? People setting lofty ambitions for a healthier, happier life. You want to save money, you want to exercise, you want to reduce your carbon footprint, right? All of these things. But come on, let's be real. It's often tough to keep those resolutions. That's why Amy Morin is here. She's here to tell us how not to fail at keeping your goals this year. She's a psychotherapist and the editor-in-chief of VeryWell Mind. Okay, it's all on you, Amy. Help us. What mistakes do we make, and what should we avoid?
There are three big mistakes I see people make when it comes to setting New Year's resolutions and trying to keep them. The first one is that we create goals that aren't measurable. So many people will say something like, I want to be happier or I want to be healthier. But how do you measure that? What does that really look like? What does it mean? We need to set goals that really define what the behavioral changes are that we want to see. A better goal is to say, I want to go to the gym 3 times a week, not just I want to be healthier. A second one is when we set the bar way too high. Sometimes people will say, I want to pay off $10,000 next year. But then a couple weeks into January, they think, that's too big of a goal, I can't reach it, so we just give up. And the third one is actually starting a resolution on January 1st. That's another big mistake.
Ooh.
A lot of people are going to feel pressure today and tomorrow to say, I have to come up with my resolution. People are going to be asking, what's your New Year's resolution? So some people might say, yeah, I'm going to do better this year. I'm going to exercise more often, but they don't really think about how to put that into practice. We know that change happens in stages. We don't just change overnight, but if we come up with a goal without really preparing for it, we're going to set ourselves up to fail.
Oh my gosh, well, you've already saved me because I was ready to figure out what am I doing this year. I'm going to do all the healthy, green juice every day and meditate. And let's be real, I'm not going to do that. But there are some things I do want to do. So how do we set those realistic goals?
One thing is to break it down into smaller chunks. So if your goal is to save $10,000 next year, a better goal would be to say, I'm going to save $200 a week. And then you can evaluate your weekly progress at the end of the week, saying, how did I do this week? What do I want to do better next week? What obstacles got in the way? And then you can adjust your plan as needed. And you might decide that you set your sights a little too high. That's okay. You can adjust your goal throughout the year if you look at it that way.
That's such a better way of thinking about it, because sometimes you're like, well, I already ate that cake, so I'll just start that diet next month or whatever it is. What are the most popular New Year's resolutions, Amy?
So we know a lot of them are about health. Obviously, people start going to the gym January 1st. Other people say have a weight loss goal, a specific goal of how much they want to lose. Sometimes they're financial goals, too, where people want to either earn a certain amount of money or save a certain amount or pay off a specific amount of debt. But this year, we're also hearing from a lot of people who are starting to set mental health goals, which is wonderful as well. Whether they say, I want to take better care of myself or I want to do certain things to reduce my stress, those can be really good resolutions too.
Oh, they're so smart. Absolutely. We have to take care of ourselves first. So what happens when they fail? You say you're going to do something and you don't. How do you get back on track?
We really have to get rid of that all or nothing thinking, where we think we're either going to reach our resolution or we aren't. So it's best to just remind yourself that failure is part of the process. If you make a mistake, it's an opportunity to say, what did I learn from that mistake and how can I do better next week? Rather than thinking just because you go off the track a little bit that suddenly you failed and you're doomed to not be able to meet your resolution next year. Just remind yourself, things are going to come up during the week that make it hard sometimes. There's going to be obstacles, you're going to encounter problems, and that's okay. It's part of the process and you can learn from those mistakes.
Amy Morin, thank you so much and happy 2023 to you.
Thank you. You as well.